Syrian government forces have been consolidating their hold on villages around the key town of Qusair, which they seized from rebel fighters after an offensive which lasted for 2 weeks. Now, the fierce fighting over Qusair reflects its strategic importance. It sits on a key route north from the capital Damascus and close to the border with Lebanon.
Austria is withdrawing its troops from the force in the Golan Heights after fighting between the Syrian army and rebels. The Syrian army has retaken a border crossing in that area that briefly fell into opposition hands. Shelling in the area injured 2 peacekeepers.
Austrian Chancellor Werner Faymann said the country will pull out all 380 of its peacekeeping troops by July. The troops are currently monitoring a ceasefire between Syria and Israel.
We can no longer guarantee our troops' safety in the Golan Heights.
The move comes as a growing number of UN operations are being affected by the fighting in Syria. Last month, a group of Filipino peacekeepers was detained by Syrian opposition forces.
Supporters of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad staged a small rally Thursday after Syrian forces regained control of the Quneitra border crossing from rebel forces. Now, that crossing is important because it's Syria's only access point to the Golan Heights. Israeli tanks have also begun taking up positions along the border.
The Israel Defense Force says no one in Israel was hurt and that it appears the missiles were not targeting Israel. This video from the Golan Heights shows heavy fighting on the Syrian side of the border. Syrian rebels captured a UN-manned crossing point in the area, but according to Reuters, Israeli security sources later reported Syrian troops had retaken it.
Contradictory information coming in to us, notably from Israeli journalists posted up there on the Israeli side of that border crossing. Remember, there's about 17 meters between the Israeli position and the Syrian position along that Quneitra crossing, the only crossing, by the way, between Israel and the Syrian side. Rebels indeed having for a while gained control of that strategic crossing before, according to some Israeli journalists, having lost it. So apparently fighters, or rather soldiers loyal to Bashar al-Assad, having regained control of this crossing. Fighting being described as being very fierce, involving heavy artillery, heavy weaponry as well. One UN officer wounded. Remember that there are UN troops, forces patrolling along the demilitarized zones between those two Israeli and Syrian positions. So an Israeli officer wounded after an artillery shell landed in the camp in which he was posted. The Israeli army has asked everyone on the Israeli site, civilians, residents, farmers, to evacuate the zone around the Quneitra crossing, still being treated or considered to be very dangerous at present, precisely because of the fighting raging up there. And that is knocking, by the way, at Israel's door more than ever.